Long ago, in the earliest days of the world, people had spread across the earth. But something had gone terribly wrong. The world had become filled with violence, corruption, and cruelty. People hurt each other, ignored God, and cared only for themselves. When God looked at the earth, he saw that human hearts were full of evil. The goodness he had once created was being destroyed, and it grieved him deeply. God decided that the world needed a new beginning, but there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He tried to live a good life, and he walked faithfully with God, even when everyone around him did the opposite. Because of this, God chose Noah for an extraordinary mission. God spoke to Noah and said, "I am going to send a great flood upon the earth to wash away the wickedness of mankind. But I will save you and your family. You must build an ark." An ark was not a small boat. It would be enormous, more like a giant floating house made of wood. God gave Noah very specific instructions. The ark would be about 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. It would have 3 decks, a door in the side, and a window near the roof. Noah was also told to cover the ark inside and out with pitch so that water could not seep in. But the ark wasn't just for Noah and his family. God told Noah to bring animals aboard as well, 2 of every kind, male and female, so that life could continue after the flood. Birds, livestock, wild animals, and creatures that crawl along the ground. Noah would also need to store enough food for everyone. So Noah began the work, day after day, month after month, year after year. People must have wondered what he was doing. Building such a massive ark must have seemed strange, especially since there had never been a flood like this before. Some people may have laughed at him. Others may have ignored him completely. But Noah kept building. He trusted what God had told him. Finally, after many years, the ark was finished. Then something incredible began to happen. Animals started arriving. Pairs of animals came from every direction. Lions and lambs, elephants and rabbits. Birds filled the sky as they flew toward the ark, and 2 by 2 they entered. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives also went aboard. In total, 8 people entered the ark. Then the door was shut, and the waiting began. Soon, dark clouds gathered across the sky. Thunder rolled in the distance. Then it started to rain. At first, it may have seemed like an ordinary storm, but the rain didn't stop. It poured down endlessly. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain fell upon the earth. Water rushed across the land. Rivers overflowed. Lakes and seas swelled. Soon the entire earth was covered with water. Even the tallest mountains disappeared beneath the rising flood. Everything outside the ark was swept away, but the ark floated safely upon the water. Inside, Noah and his family cared for the animals while the storm raged outside. The ark drifted on the vast ocean that had once been the world. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the rain stopped, but the water still covered the earth. After many months, the ark finally came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Still, Noah waited. Eventually, he opened a window and sent out a raven to see if the waters had dried. But the raven kept flying back and forth. Later, Noah sent out a dove. The dove returned because it could not find a place to land. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove again. This time, it came back with something in its beak, an olive leaf. It was a sign that the waters were finally receding and that plants were growing again. After another 7 days, Noah sent the dove out once more. This time, it did not return. The earth was becoming dry again. Finally, God told Noah that it was time to leave the ark. The door was opened. Fresh air rushed inside. One by one, the animals stepped out onto the new earth. Birds flew into the sky. Animals spread across the land. Noah and his family stood on dry ground once more. Their long journey was over. The first thing Noah did was build an altar and thank God. God was pleased with Noah's faithfulness. And God made a promise, a covenant, with Noah and with all living creatures. Never again would a flood destroy the entire earth. As a sign of this promise, God placed something beautiful in the sky, a rainbow. Whenever the rainbow appeared in the clouds, it would remind the world of God's promise. A promise of mercy, a promise that life would continue. And so the earth began again. From Noah and his family, the nations of the world would grow, and the story of the great flood would be remembered for generations. A story of judgment, a story of faith, and a story of hope.